Hey everybody, I'm Katie Sise and I wrote The Boyfriend app. The book is out on April 30th with HarperCollins, Balzer & Bray. I thought that I could introduce it by reading the first few pages. Okay, so part 1.0, chapter 1. It was lunchtime in the social battleground, better known as Harrison's upperclassmen cafeteria, and I was staring at Aiden Bailey. Voices chattered around us and I was distracted, too busy wondering if anyone could see the hair on the back of my neck stand up as I looked into his dark blue denim eyes. So my guard was down when my ex-best friend, Blake Dawkins, pushed out her chair and straightened to her full 5 feet 9 inches, plus 2 inches of metallic kitten heels equals 71 inches of physical perfection. But then Blake caught my glance and took off across the linoleum. I snapped out of my trance when I realized her kitten heels were clicking in the direction of my lunch table. I was sitting with my 3 friends, the one Blake's new BFFs, Joanna and Jolene Martin, named troglodytes on account of some of us inhabiting the computer lab like a spiritual home. Being that troglodytes are a race of humanoid monsters from Dungeons & Dragons makes me question the Martin sisters' secret activities. Takes one to know one, if you catch my drift. Najit Garoon was prattling on about an algorithm he wrote, and then saying he could have played Wolverine in X-Men. I sensed we were moments away from a conversation about coding, encryption, or video games, any of which Blake could use as ammunition. So in a last-ditch effort to save us, I changed the topic to homecoming. Mistake. So who are you guys thinking you'll take, I asked, my voice raising a notch as Blake stalked closer. To homecoming, I mean. Najit scratched the skin beneath the collar of his "This shirt is ammunition" tee, the black one with lines and lines of code splashed across the back, the one he wore yesterday, too. Homecoming, he asked, the way some people might say, planner ward. You mean like the dance? Najit had smooth brown skin, thick hair, and wide, dark eyes behind Coke bottle glasses. I pretended to study my plate. The potatoes au gratin were my mom's newest addition to the Harrison menu, and she'd slipped me an extra slice of meatloaf, which was extra nice, considering she's a vegetarian and Harrison's lunch meat is disgusting. Did I mention my mom works at Harrison as the cafeteria supervisor? Yeah, I'm comfortable. Aiden tapped a binder filled with financial aid printouts. I liked watching the way his long fingers came to rest on the paper. His cuticles were so messed up, like he just destroyed them doing some boy thing. Are you going, Audrey? Aiden's low voice rasped in the middle of words and curled up at the edges. I'm thinking about it, I said, sipping water and tasting metal. Not technically a lie, I was thinking about not going. And right now I just wanted to get going, out of the cafeteria. Aiden's dark blue eyes blinked, lingered on mine. He almost made me forget about Blake. Almost. Or maybe we can exploit the flaw in the HTTPD software to alter the web page and mess up the candidates for court, he said. He pushed up the sleeves of his gray wool sweater and exposed his muscular forearms. I nominate you and Mindy for co-queens. Melinda, Mindy Morales, my 3rd friend at the table, smiled in silence. In silence is the way Mindy does everything. She has a speech sound disorder, which means she can't make certain language sounds the right way. Fish sounds like this, and that's only the tip of the iceberg. Mindy's speech problem wasn't really a big deal in elementary school, but by the time we got to junior high, it was like a ticking time bomb. She just couldn't get rid of it. She does better in Spanish because that's her native language, but hardly anyone speaks Spanish at Harrison, so that's no help. And it doesn't matter that she's super pretty. There are some things most people can't or won't get past. She flew under the radar until freshman year when she caught Blake's attention as my new best friend. Blake termed her a stupida, and it stuck. It's a sound disorder, not a stutter, but whatever, Blake. Now Mindy's making straight C's because she won't speak in class. Over here, Blake, yelled Anborg Olsvik, the exchange student who got caught having sex with herself in the drama department's closet while wearing nothing but the curly red wig from Annie. Anborg whipped out her hot pink phone and snapped a photo of Blake on her linoleum catwalk. Anborg was obsessed with Blake. She started a fan website called OMG Love You Blake, God Bless Blake in America.com, where she posted photos. She captioned the photos with things like, Thirsty Blake drink water from fountain, or Blake wear shiny shoe with pointy toe. Blake stopped to pose for Anborg and my sweat turned ice cold. Don't you need a date to go to homecoming, Audrey? Najit was asking as Blake tucked her chin and pouted at Anborg. Aiden fidgeted with his binder. A flush crept over the skin near his inky hair. Blake gave Anborg one more pose, draping her arm over her head and partly shading her eyes, straight out of America's Next Top Model, and then told Anborg to get a freaking life before starting toward our table again. 9 feet, 8 feet, 7 feet away. I could get a date if I wanted to, I told Najit. Total lie. I hadn't had a date since freshman year. I'd kissed a few guys, but not anybody worth talking about, especially not with Blake 6 feet away. I'd never actually even had a boyfriend. Maybe I needed new clothes, or maybe I shouldn't have cut my almost black hair into a pixie cut, even if the lady at the Clinique counter said it made me look gay mean. She also said my green eyes were to die for, but then she tried to sell me a $50 moisturizer, so who knows. Blake had enough boyfriend getting power for both of us. A few tables away, her BF, lacrosse king Xander Knight, was busy being hot and stoic while the rest of her pack laughed and pointed at my lunch table. Real live video, like the YouTube, Anborg shouted as she ran alongside Blake, catching it all on her phone. Blake's sequin miniskirt went swish, 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 like a soundtrack for her strut. I flashed back to the afternoons Blake and I used to spend in my mom's closet, trying on heels and skirts that were too big for us. We used to stage fashion shows in my parents' bedroom, and my mom would pretend to judge the looks, like on Project Runway. Xander turned to watch Blake. Mindy's and my shared Xander night obsession meant we memorized the golden flecks that sparkled in his hazel irises. I felt my stomach twist for the split second he caught my glance before looking away, like I didn't exist.